Gentlemen, it is time for a change. You don't need more books, podcasts, or uninspiring therapy sessions as to why you cannot change. What you need are the right tools and the right training to use them. And that's what we're going to dive into in today's video. So many men are getting into personal growth, and they're making the exact same mistake that I made years ago when I got into all of this back in 2018. And it becomes the, hey, I think that I'm doing personal development, but I'm not actually doing personal development hamster wheel. And that hamster wheel looks like this. You start listening to podcasts, you start watching YouTube videos, maybe you begin to read some books, maybe you start to sign up for your first workshop. But the problem is that you get on this wheel of consuming endless amounts of content in relationship to personal growth, but you don't spend any time actually implementing. And that's where the real danger of the industry comes in, because I'm not going to lie, it is probably $100 billion industry at this point. And there's a lot of people that are actively going to retreats and going to workshops and hiring coaches and reading books and doing podcasts, and they're in therapy, and nothing's changing in their life because they're not actually doing anything about it. Like, you could read 100 books on how to lift heavy weights. This is just an example. But you know what's actually going to make your muscles grow? Lifting heavy weights. You can read 1 million relationship books around toxic patterns and around how your childhood impacts how you show up in a relationship. You can read 100 books, but nothing's going to change until you're in a moment in relationship and you bring awareness to the fact that you need to respond differently, or you need to heal this part of you, and you do it in that relationship moment. And this is a huge issue, because people are just thinking they're doing the work, but they're not actually doing the work. So what we're going to talk about today is like what actually works. What works for my life, what works for my clients, what works for the men that step into my men's group, as well as the programs that I run. Because the way that I was trained and the way that I was brought up was that we need to talk less, we need to consume less, and we actually need to get our shit together and start doing stuff like men. And how that looks in real life is it actually looks like removing things from your life rather than adding things to your life. There's this mindset that in personal growth, we need to do more, we need to accomplish more, we need to just work harder, we need to go and there's just this endless list of things to check off every single day. But what it really, if you really want to change your life, the first thing that you need to do is you need to remove things from your life. You need to make lists and inventories as to what are all the toxic behaviors that you do? What are the addictions that you currently are facing? How are you showing up in relationship? What are you doing with your time? What are you not doing with your time? How much social media are you consuming? Are you just sitting around all day thinking you're working? Or are you actually working? Start to actually get in relationship with reality. That's step number 1. Stop listening to podcasts about mental health and actually sit down and be like, how am I thinking on a daily basis? Stop watching the fitness channels and go to the fucking gym. Stop, learning about manifestation and money and just fucking start going out there and create something and do it, or apply for a job promotion. But people get caught up in the doing things that they think are doing things, but it's not the thing. They're just learning about the thing rather than doing the thing. And most of my biggest improvements of happiness and fulfillment in life is when I stopped reading books, I stopped listening to podcasts, I stopped watching YouTube videos, and I just decided, I woke up and I'm like, all right, how do I want to live my life today? All right, I want to be grounded, and I want to meditate, and I want to eat healthy food. Okay, I'm going to go do those things. But most of the time, human beings, especially men, we're just vacuums of information. We just want to know more, build another spreadsheet. We want a vision board. We want a plan. We want to have the whole thing, written out. It's that's just step number 1. But the main thing that's going to change your life is action. And like I said earlier, you need to remove things out of your life. So if there are toxic behaviors in your life, you need to remove those. If you are constantly people pleasing, you need to remove that behavior. If you are addicted to porn or a substance of some sort, whether it be alcohol or marijuana or worse drugs, like you need to remove those or actively work towards removing those from your life. If you are not hanging around strong men, you're hanging around weak and immature and misogynistic men, then you need to remove those people effective immediately. Are you eating lots of junk food? You need to remove that immediately. Are you sleeping in way past when you actually should be getting up? Then you need to stop that. Like, if you were to think about how many things would actually change your life by removing rather than adding, I guarantee your life could look a whole lot different in 2 weeks from now. Like, if you just decided today with enough intention that you're just not going to live that way anymore, and you're going to overcome all of the resistance that will take to change and just be like, I'm just not somebody that's going to do that. I'm not going to drink Coca-Cola. I'm not going to consume energy drinks. I'm not going to drink caffeine past 1 p.m. no matter how much I want to or how much my body craves it. Like, you have so much more power over your actions and behaviors than you think, but you just quickly, you'd rather the short-term pleasure than the long-term win, essentially. So I would say that if you really want your life to change, I would say add nothing. Add absolutely nothing for the first 6 months. Just remove and get really good at removing things from your life that no longer serves you. It's Kyle Cease. He wrote this book, like The Illusion of Money, and he talks a lot about this, right? Like, stop trying to chase, stop trying to do things, try to remove things. Like, strip everything away that's draining your energy. Strip all the people, strip all the habits, strip all the thoughts that your thoughts are a little bit more challenging. I don't want to dive too much into that today, but really get really intimate and get into right relationship with the reality of your life and everything that you are doing. Like, dig and get everything. Like, look at your closets and look at the inside of your car, and right, because our physical space is a manifestation of our mental space. And I can have a pretty good idea of somebody's mental state just by like opening their closet door or opening their car. And if there's garbage everywhere and there's dirt everywhere, like, I can only imagine what's happening inside that person's mind. But like, how we do one thing is how we do everything. Literally, I know people say that, but no, like, the way that I make money is the same way that I fuck. It's the same way that I keep my space tidy. It's the same way that I build my brand. It's the same way that I pay attention to friends. Like, if I'm unfocused, unpresent, and half-assing one thing, then I'm most likely doing that in every single category. But there's a reason that men that really are successful, they're meticulous in all of these different areas. You open up their closet, it's relatively clean. Their car is clean. Their spreadsheets are clean. Their face is clean. Their clothes are clean. The way that they set up dates is relatively structured and meticulous. How you do one thing is literally how you do everything. And you need to recognize that. And like, this is not complicated issues. I mean, you could go listen to a 2.5 hour podcast, or you could just take my advice and create a list of like, break down like health, relationships, work, personal. Break it up to those 4 categories and just start writing down all your current behaviors, all of your current decisions, and like, not from a place of shame, but just like, so then you could look at it and be like, yeah, I eat this much junk food per week. I'm watching this much, like, look at your screen time on your phone. Like, this is how you actually change your life. Like, think about this. Think about everything that I just said. Throw it all out the window. Like, if you just go to therapy and just talk about your problems every single day, but you're not actually like systematically removing things or changing things in your life, then nothing's going to change. Because you're just going to show back up at your therapy session feeling uninspired, unmotivated, you have a bit of a cry, you talk to your therapist, and then you go home and you do nothing. That's a sure recipe for failure, because I've been there and I've done that. And my life completely changed when I just was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. No. Right? I'm going to the gym 4 days a week. And then when I start to feel myself resisting that, be like, I'm going to go anyways. I'd rather have a bad workout, but be the kind of guy that goes to the gym 4 days a week than just skip it like I've done my entire life. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. I haven't really told you to do anything extra. I'm not saying you need to do ayahuasca, you need to do breath work, you need to meditate, you need to go to the gym. Maybe you don't need to go to the gym. Maybe you're already going to the gym. Maybe you need to go to the gym less. Maybe you just need to walk 10,000 steps a day rather than go to the gym. Like, I'm not telling you to do anything in specific. What I'm really advising you to do is get real intimate with how your entire life looks like. Like, this is me in a nutshell. This is everything that I do. This is how I act. This is how I behave. Like everything. This is what time I go to bed. This is how much water I drink. Like you can't change or remove things from your life until you have a full bird's eye view of this is everything that I'm doing. So that's how you change. Drop the podcasts. After this video, stop watching these videos. Like don't watch any more of my videos. Go make that list. I don't care about the views on these videos. I care that you're going to actually improve your life. And if you can't do it on your own, you need some external accountability, then reach out to me and I'd be happy to see if there's a way that I can support you through one of my programs, one of my groups. But I'm really passionate about helping men in their life. So if this resonates with you, then hit the like button, drop a comment. You can click down in the description. There's like a link there to book a clarity call if you want to chat more about it. But yeah. Stop listening to shit and start doing stuff. And your life's going to change. I promise.